We now know all of the tier 1 relics. Your first choice in leagues will be to pick Trickster, Endless Harvest or Production Prodigy, but which one should you choose? So here's all of the pros and the cons of every relic, and which one you pick will probably depend on your regions and your playstyle. The new one, and probably the most interesting one, is Trickster, which sounds amazing, especially if you hate agility like me, because it gives Sage's Greaves, which when worn periodically give you agility XP as you run around, similar to Silverhawk boots do in RS3. In the video, the amount we seen was a 300 XP drop, which is a substantial amount and implies that this relic will get you to at least level 99 over time if you're fairly active in Leagues 4. But I'm going to put a bit of a dampener on this one, because usually in Leagues we get a ton of agility tasks anyway, so if you're casually playing Leagues and hate agility, this is probably the best thing you've ever seen. But for players going for max points, it seems that this part of the relic will be inefficient. Getting all those tasks done will probably get you 99 agility anyway, and we've got unlimited run. So it may get you some extra points if we have tasks to get say 25 or 50 million XP in a skill for example, but other than that it feels more like a quality of life perk. But that's not all this relic does. Trickster also lets you pickpocket without failing, and you get twice as much loot. You automatically re-pickpocket and you can hold 3 times as many coin pouches too. I think if you're gonna pick this relic, this part is huge. Not so much the XP, which is nice and will probably save you some time, although thieving is a fairly quick skill anyway, but more about the resources that you can get from doing this. One of the first problems you face on an Iron Man account is always finding a good source of GP, and this just solves it instantly. And a high level thieving you can make as much as 1.55 million GP per hour, and double that again if you actually wear Rogue's outfit. For anyone planning to unlock the Kingdom of Miscellanea, this can get you the 7.5 million needed to open up all of those huge resources and supplies extremely quickly. And supplies is where it comes into its own, because this relic with the Master Farmer is going to give you a ton of herb seeds. Paladins give you iron, mithril and steel bars, plus a bunch of herbs and blood runes. Gnomes are going to give you fire orbs for crafting XP, and you can buy battle staffs in Varrock. Heroes get you diamonds, blood and death runes, Vire's the same plus blood shards, but the best is probably the chest on the Isle of Souls that give you 15 keys per hour that open this chest in the north of the island and access to all of this juicy loot. You'd get a rune axe and a pickaxe in the starter region, crafting supplies, dragon plate legs, rune arrows, dragon bones and high level herbs which give you a huge advantage in so many ways just by taking this relic. The next part of this one is Hunter, and we now get double the loot from box traps as well as catching things much faster, effectively also making range training faster, and this is the strength of Trickster. It has the ability to help you in a lot of other skills too that you don't always notice the first time that you read it. Like all of the skills in this relic, you can't fail either, so faster XP again. Lastly is that we can burn up to 9 logs simultaneously. This is probably the weakest part of this relic, but even still, combined with Miscellanea or any other good source of logs, it gives you an easy way to get all the fire making achievements, and unlike skills like agility where you have to complete so many laps for points, usually in fire making you just have to burn one type of log, so it's all about getting a high enough level for the points. The next relic we have is Endless Harvest, which simply gives you twice as many resources for fishing, woodcutting and mining, and sends them directly to your bank. I have to say, this one feels a little bit underpowered on the surface. Sure, gathering resources and mining, woodcutting and fishing is slow, so double the amount is quite useful. But eventually, with all the combat relics we'll get, we're going to be killing bosses all over Gilnor in record time, and they all drop a ton of supplies, which will be faster than double mining or woodcutting. We have access to so many ways to get supplies like Temperos, Miscellanea or food shops, so raw fish isn't going to be a problem either. Now it doesn't state on it, but we had this relic in Leagues too, and you got XP for each resource that you gathered, meaning you effectively got double fishing, double mining and double woodcutting XP, and if that is the same, it's going to be the sole reason you should consider this relic. Those skills, even with boosted XP, are some of the slowest in the game. We are in all likelihood going to have plenty of supplies for production skills once we start bossing. Trickster helps you with the annoying skills and can give you a leg up early on with fast access to GP and supplies, but the skills it benefits are much faster to train than the ones in Endless Harvest. If you're planning to go for Dragon Rank, the time saved in these 3 skills will probably be the most out of all 3. But if you can use the other relics to get points faster and hit those huge multipliers earlier, then they should probably be the better option. Lastly is Production Prodigy, which is currently winning the vote for the most useful. The first thing it does is instantly process smithing. Whether you're smelting ores, smithing bars, or even making cannonballs, your whole inventory will be done instantly. It does the exact same thing with fletching, although it doesn't say that it includes arrows or bolts themselves. Cleaning herbs and making potions is done instantly too, and cooking and crafting are the same. That was the same as it was in Leagues 2, but then they've added the following. We will now get 25% extra XP and supplies, because there's a 25% chance to get an extra resource for whatever you're doing, and that also awards XP. And that's not all. We also get our crafting, smithing, fletching, herb lore and cooking boosted by 12 levels permanently. Last time that part alone was its very own relic, albeit that it affected every skill and not just a few, but it's pretty huge. When you first look at this relic, like me, you probably just see how fast you're going to level in those skills that it affects, but actually getting supplies is always the slowest part of any skill. Having endless harvest in normal circumstances would save you more time in the whole process of making 100 bows by getting logs twice as fast than Production Prodigy would save you making the bows instantly, because cutting 50 logs and fletching 100 bows is much faster than cutting 100 logs and fletching 50 bows instantly. But Leagues 4 is definitely not normal circumstances, and strategically this relic makes the most sense. This is because it gives you access to the fastest points possible. You can make money and simply buy 99 crafting from a charter ship, giving you a ton of easy points. You can farm points in other areas as usual, such as Wintertodd, Zolcano, or simply killing things with the huge combat relics, all of which give you a ton of supplies, which you can then train these skills in record time and then hit the levels required to get even more points. The plus 12 you get in all of these skills is also very useful, because the vast majority of tasks in them are simply craft a piece of jewellery, or an adamant longsword for example. Smelt a rune bar with a plus 12 boost now only requires you to have 73 smithing, but is likely to be an elite task and give you a ton of points. Craft a dragonstone ring would need just 43 crafting, and you get the point. All 3 of these relics are very good. There isn't any of them that are bad, and pick the one you'll enjoy the most. But for those going for the highest points available, one gives you the biggest advantage, and that is Production Prodigy. The other relics can't compete with how quickly you can get points using this, which then allows you to unlock the next tier and then the higher multiplier, meaning you get more XP and more points in every skill in the game before players that choose the other ones. Plus you'll probably get access to the other regions first too, although this I believe is based on how many tasks you complete rather than the points, which does make skilling Prodigy less of an advantage, but still probably the better choice. Anyway, let me know your thoughts, and for those picking Endless Harvest or Trickster, don't hate on me, it's just my opinion, it doesn't mean I'm right.